Kahit alam natin na parang hindi sa atin yung taong yon, para siyang magnet. Parang may mali dito sa taong to pero I can seem to let go of that person. And if you ever ask yourself, why do I always fall for the same kind of person?
Baka nagstay ka pa din. Na galit na yung mga kaibigan mo, lahat ng mga tao sa paligid mo. Kulang lang sinasabihan ka, ang tanga-tanga mo, pero ikaw, in love ka pa din.
Bakit may mga taong martir? Meron namang ibang tao na they seem to be available but unavailable. Hi everyone and welcome to another podcast. My name is Jet and
I'm Nina.
and together with my baby. Ayan si Nina. Welcome to another podcast. This is actually episode 7. I think episode 7 na to. So kung may narinig kayo sa background na may nagluluto, alam niyo na yan. Nandito kasi tayo sa cafe today. But today it's gonna be a different topic. Yan, another topic that I think a lot of you guys will relate to. Maraming makaka-relate sa inyo. But before anything else, we like to open up our new channel name. And eto na nga, bago na siya, hindi na siya Soul Space. I decided to change kasi sabi nga ni Ninya, napakamaligalig ko nga daw. So, I changed it from Soul Space into Within the Still Room. Within the Still Room, ayan. So, you can find it on Facebook, YouTube, ayan, dito sa napapanood nyo, YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. So, this is actually the 6th topic or 7th. Ano na ba? 6 na nga ba or 7?
Sure.
Hindi ko na maaralan. Basta kung anong episode to, yun na yun, ha? Bahala na kayo. Natatawa lang ako kasi when I was thinking of what topic that we're going to talk about, naisip ko, I think we have to talk something na makaka-relate yung mga audience natin, especially yung mga parang ang forte kasi natin more of like relationship, couple, you know, in a sense parang therapy, psychology, yan naman yung parang forte na, yun naman talaga yung forte na itong podcast na ito. But today, it's gonna be a bit different because ang topic natin is about people who fall for the wrong person. Yun ang topic. And if you are one of them, then this podcast is for you. Ayan. So maybe you are wondering bakit tayo or well, some of us, kahit alam natin na parang hindi sa atin yung taong yon, para siyang magnet. Yung parang feeling natin na parang, parang may mali dito sa taong to pero I can seem to let go of that person. Have you ever been in that kind of relationship? Pero sa akin.
Pero sa'yo. Ano ba yung tanong na yan? Siguro dun sa past, oo, somehow.
Meron. Ito.
Yun nga, sabi nila, di ba, parang kahit masakit, wag lang umalis.
Ayan. So, I think a lot of relationship right now is may mga ganun talagang klase ng how I say dynamics, no, na parang marami siyang dynamics when it comes to relationship. I for one is also parang naging how would I say parang na-fall din ako sa ganyang scenario. Well, I've had relationship before na kahit na red flag na super red flag na talaga, iniyakan ko talaga tapos parang I can seem to detach from that person. And then there was something about, parang that person, okay na kami, we're friends and you know, nagkita na kami ulit and stuff like that. Pero while thinking, because I was very young then, parang yung mga tao sa paligid ko, sobrang parang lahat sila ayaw na pero I seem to continue parang in that relationship.
Martir.
Ayun yun pa. Diba? Bakit may mga taong martir? At meron namang ibang tao na they seem to be available but unavailable.
Wow, Tara.
Diba? They act like they are very available pero they're not available. And that is something that, you know, kung nagwa-wonder kayo, and if you ever ask yourself, why do I always fall for the same kind of person, which is very emotionally unavailable, inconsistent, and mali. Yan. So, we'll find out more on this podcast. Ayan. Ikaw, may idea ka ba kung bakit? Kasi I think napag-usapan na natin to kay Kring eh. Naman, nadaanan na natin siya at some point, diba? During the talk.
Kasi yun nga, yung sinabi mo na kahit na maraming red flags, baka nagstay ka pa din. Nagalit na yung mga kaibigan mo, lahat ng mga tao sa paligid mo. Kulang lang sinasabihan ka, tanga-tanga mo, pero ikaw, in love ka pa din. So, bakit nga ba?
Well, ikaw, tanongin ko nga, ikaw magkwento ka. Baka meron kang, short story or short real story.
Ako kasi yung red flag sa iba eh. Wag na ako.
Hindi, actually, yan din yung kailangan natin pag-usapan. Kasi, may factors yan, and I will explain later. No, I will be sharing some thoughts with you later on. But you can tell a story. I mean, not really detailed. It's up to you, no? Pero kung ano yung komportable ka lang i-share. Kasi meron yan eh. May hugot din yan. And you will know why later on. And I studied it, no? It was part of this talk na parang bakit nga ba we fall for for the person we thought na siya na talaga yon, no? Parang we believe that person, even though you see or meron ka na nakikita or may nakikita na sila sa'yo, at that point they can seem to let go. So ayun.
Oo nga. Okay. Sige. Well, personally sa akin kasi, 'di ba? Natuto na ako, buti nga natuto ako. Meron kasing mga feelings na napapa-feel sa akin. Merong mga empty spaces na nafe-feel. Kumbaga, siguro yung tinatawag nila mga void na nafe-feel nung tao na yon. Even though in a wrong way or parang inappropriately. Ganon. So, kahit na inappropriate na siya or hindi na siya tama, I still chose to feel it because it gives a satisfaction.
What do you think that kind of satisfaction?
Satisfaction. Fulfillment na being seen, being appreciated, ganyan. Yun. Mama. Ako yung nasa hot seat.
There is an explanation to that. Ako naman, on my part, no, I was always drawn to people na parang they seem to be unavailable or they seem to give me something. Pero in the long run, parang ako na yung, kahit na may nakikita na ako na parang ang daming red flags and something like that, I will still keep on choosing that person.
Nag-stay ka nga kahit na nasasaktan ka na.
Oo. And a lot of you maybe could relate. And a lot of you would question why. Bakit ka nag-i-stay sa tao na hindi ka naman ganun kamahal at hindi ka naman, kumbaga you're expecting that person to love you. Or you have that idea of that person.
Yun nga because you have that idea.
Yun
sa paningin nila, hindi ka mahal. Pero sa paningin mo
so ang question
siya ang para sa'yo.
So ang question dyan, are you in love with the idea but not the person? Are you in love with the thought of what that person can give to you or what the reality is? Magkaiba kasi yun. Diba? So,
paduguan pala ng utak dito.
So, kasi, meron kasing idea lang na ibibigay niya sa'yo yung idea lang na feeling mo siya yung makakapagbigay sa'yo. Pero pag tinignan mo talaga yun sa kabuuan, in reality, is that
malayong-malayo naman.
Manga ka talaga sa buong relasyon. Ikaw yung tagabigay, ikaw yung tagabili ng motor, ikaw na gumagastos. Pero sa isip mo, ito yung taong to. But they say some people fall in the idea of love, the idea of being loved by that person, but not actually that person. And we will understand why.
So, yun nga, yung asa ka girl, parang ganon.
Pwedeng asa ka girl or pwedeng parang
Sino may diferensya siya o ako?
Oo, yan. Oo,
Diba?
sino may diferensya siya o ako? Yun yung iba sa yung ideation na usually nangyayari sa mga in a relation. Hindi lang to usapang boyfriend and girlfriend we're talking about even married people like us. Bakit? Kasi kami, grabe pinagdaanan namin ito ni Nina. It's like, alam nyo, kung
maisa sa maalaala mo kaya.
in a sense, or kung maisusulat namin yung biography ng relationship namin, we could be in a different, well, yun yung parang naisip ko na, talaga ba? Parang ganun, no? Pero very few people know what our love story is, there are parts in the story na hindi talaga namin yan sinishare it with people na kami lang talaga, a very small group of people know. Pero syempre, 'di ba, being an influencer and content creator, hindi naman pwedeng lahat ilatag namin, pero at least we're giving you an idea of what really is being in this kind of situation. Ito yung mga example, the classic examples are the person keeps on dating emotionally unavailable partners. Number 2 is every time the pattern feels new. Pero it ends the same. Merong ganon. Tumatalon in one relationship.
Pero hoping, isa lang ang tumbok.
Oo, ending, iisa lang. At yung ending usually is that, akala ko ba same lang?
Akala ko iba ka.
Iba ka. Ending, ganun
mga
ka pa rin.
linyahan.
Akala ko iba ka, pero ganun ka pa rin. Ganun ka rin pala. Yun. Tapos,
okay. Sige, go.
And the third one is, they know it's unhealthy, yet they can't let go because of hope or chemistry. So, eto nga yung umaasa.
So, yun nga.
Si Asa.
Sino ang may diferensya?
Ikaw
siya ba
o ako?
Ikaw? Based on sa mga sinabi mo, parang feeling ko yung
Alin?
Ako mismo yung, parang tayo yung may problema.
Well,
kasi, di ba, sabi mo nga, why do people attract the same person na inalisan din nila in the past relationship?
And I have a very, very concrete, I think, hindi naman concrete understanding. I mean, I'm not a psychologist and I'm not relationship expert, no? But syempre in a span, no, being in therapy na rin before, and as you have seen before doon sa podcast ni Kring, we have already talked to some couples, our story as well. I will tell you why, no? So I will break it down to you. So mga nagtatanong, actually marami yan apat na reasons. So mamili na lang kayo kung saan kayo mag-fit dito sa kumbaga parang
may checklist pa nga
checklist. Typically kasi ang isa sa mga reasons why we fall to for the wrong guy or for the wrong person is, number 1 is the idea of the attachment. So we have what we call attachment theory. So this is from Bowlby, Ainsworth, and Hazen and Shaver. So if you're going to research on that, yung attachment theory is that there are 4 kinds. Actually 5 Yung first one is what we call the secure attachment. Number 2 is the anxious attachment. Number 3 is fearful avoidant attachment. And then, ilan ba? Avoidant, anxious. Panlima na. And yung isa, insecure. Insecure attachment. Yung secure attachment, ito yung mga tipo ng tao na parang sila, yung they're very secure with themselves. Typically, sila yung mga tao na nandyan ka o wala ka,
kaya nila.
Or they can manage on their own. So, ito yung attachment styles na to. Ito yung first one na pag umalis, may babalik. Kumbaga parang they're very balanced. Growing up, they understand that, when someone leaves, they understand that this person will come back. So nag-i-start yan usually pag bata, 'di ba, yung pag umaalis, Kaya may mga abandonment issue yung ibang mga bata kasi minsan sabihin aalis tapos hindi na babalik. Second naman is anxious. Kung ikaw yung klase ng tao na clingy, kung ikaw yung klase ng tao na clingy, na every other 2 hours, nagche-check ka kung nasaan ka, anong ginagawa mo, ba't hindi ka na nagme-message? You're always anxious about the presence of the other person. And that's what you call anxious attachment.
Toxic daw yung ganyan.
In a sense, toxic siya. Pero dahil may pinanghuhugutan din yan eh. So, according sa isang sa study, sa anxious attachment, you crave for closeness and constant reassurance, often fearing abandonment or rejection. So these are the types of people na they would always want to cling. They're always looking for reassurance because growing up, nobody assured somebody's presence, or especially the caregivers or the parents. So ang nangyayari,
constantly asking for attention.
And always, parang konting mo lang, parang, bakit hindi mo na ako mahal? Ganon. It's like, di mo ba ako namimiss? Hindi ka nag-message 3 oras na, di mo na ako naaalala. So, those are the kinds of things
parang ganyan naman tayo. Dumaan din naman tayo sa ganyan.
Especially, pero malalaman mo kung anong klase. Mamaya, i-check ninyo kung anong klaseng attachment kayo magfo-fall. So ako, I would fall for this part. Kasi parang mahilig. Dati kasi parang I would constantly ask for, parang, oy, nasaan ka? Ganon. I was always check.
Dumaan tayo sa ganyan nung early
younger
months.
Years.
Nung early years ba? Wow.
Kasi pareho naman tayo in a sense, pareho naman tayong abandoned in a sense. We would always ask each other's presence, diba? So, yon. So, ang behavior traits niya is you overthink small changes in your partner's tone or behavior, or you choose reassurance na, do you still love me? And you feel anxious when your partner is distant. So, ito yung parang, kung ikaw yung tipo ng tao na very independent, or, hindi ka masyadong bothered sa relationship. Tapos, ikaw yung tipo, kung ako yung lalaki, nagbabasketball ako with my friends, siguro mga 4 na oras lang ako hindi nagparamdam. Ano ka ba? Ganyan.
Madalas yan pinagsisimulan ng away yung hindi nasagot yung tawag o hindi nakapag-reply.
Oo. Kasi nga, meron silang tinatawag na yun nga, may abandonment issue sila na growing up, walang caregiver na nag-assure of that presence. So, they would always look for that. No? So, examples nito is yung, you haven't replied to me for 2 hours. Maybe he's losing interest. Yeah,
and why it equates sa negative response na may iba siyang ginawa o may masama siyang ginagawa, 'di ba?
Pwedeng trauma na may nangyari before, or either because yun nga, younger, may repercussion yung abandonment dun sa bata. So maybe nung inabandon siya, wala siyang security or protection from that caregiver. So feeling niya, pag may nangyayaring masama sa kanya, the mere fact na wala yung taong yun sa tabi niya, nawawala yung security and protection. So that's number 1. So yun yung isa sa mga possibilities na pwedeng, kaya nagkakaroon ng negative impact yun sa may mga anxious attachment. Tapos, in Filipino terms, ito yung sinasabi nila na pag hindi ka nag-text, iniisip ko agad, may mali ako.
Okay.
Pag hindi nag-text, iniisip ng isang tao na may mali sa kanya. Kaya siguro hindi nagte-text to, baka hindi na niya ako mahal, or kaya siguro hindi na nagte-text to kasi may mali sa akin. So,
o kasalanan niya.
So, yun yung isa. So, in relationships, it may appear as clinging or overly giving. So, kung mahilig nga kayong magbigay, it's like bribing, because constantly giving is also a form of parang barter or kapalit ng attention or assurance.
Parang suhol.
Oo. So, the root cause of this is inconsistent caregiving and emotional unpredictability in childhood. So, yun nga.
So, connected pa rin talaga siya sa childhood.
Oo. Actually, karamihan ng mga relationship, if we think about it clearly, talagang yun yung root cause eh. Doon sa episode 3 ng podcast natin, we talk about yung effect ng parents on how they pattern their relationship.
Yung mga wounds.
Not just wounds, but yung presence ng parents in their formative years, how it affects their relationship growing up. So this is in connection of the attachment style to that. I forgot lang kung ano yun. Basta balikan nyo na lang yun. Yung episode 3 with Miss Tony. Mamaya, i-explain natin kung ano yung mga healing paths na pwede nating gawin should you be in this kind of situation. So, eto, para feeling ko, parang sa'yo to, bagay.
Na-check ko na nga yung kanina, anxious,
Hindi, eto naman, avoidant dismissive attachment.
Oo. Ganyan din ako.
Ito naman.
Ayan talaga ako.
Oo. Kaya sabi ko kanina, di ba? Parang, nung nakilala ko si Nins dati, talaga siya, feeling ko ito siya eh. Yan talaga siya eh. Yung avoidant dismissive attachment, ito yung they value independence and control so much that intimacy feels uncomfortable and threatening. So ito yung mga klase ng tao na pag in a relationship sila, pag nafe-feel na nila na mapapamahal or maa-attach na sila, bibitaw sila. So ito rin yung mga tao na I love you but I don't want to be committed. Ito yung
it's not you, it's me.
So madaling sabi, yun talaga yun, diba? So ito yung mga behavior traits usually, you pull away when things get too emotional. So kung ikaw yung klase ng tao na pag feeling mo mapafall ka na, tapos takot ka, or ayaw mo ma-attach kasi you feel like parang hindi siya familiar sa'yo. So, you tend to shut down or you pull away.
Sa akin, well, at least sa akin, subconsciously. Pero yung iba, conscious decision talaga nila yun to withdraw and detach. Diba? Sa akin kasi subconsciously yung nangyari na gano'n na pag dumadating na pala ako doon sa part na nagiging vulnerable na ako and ino-open ko na yung self ko, yung response ko is yun na, mag-ano tayo. Abort mission.
Pack up.
Abort mission. Pack up. Ganyan. Tapos, yun. Kaya nga meron akong relationship na nag-ano ko, guys. Parang, kung tawagin ba sa trabaho, nag-awol, ganyan. Pero nakapag-sorry naman na ako dun sa tao na yun. Hinanap ko talaga siya, yung ex ko na yun. Hinanap ko siya to apologize after ilang years nga. Sabi ko sa'yo, 15 years.
15 years.
Grabe.
After,
oo. So, yun. Subconsciously kasi, parang nagkakaroon na siya ng threat.
But you feel, bakit mo nararamdaman na parang may threat?
Sabi ko nga sa'yo, hindi nga yun conscious decision.
Pero what do you feel?
In a sense is, parang I started feeling something na hindi ko na siya na-appreciate or parang gumagawa yung isip ko or siguro yung mind ko na ikaka-turn off. para ma-turn off yung dating niya sa akin. Ganyan. What else? Ba nangyari sa akin nun is para siyang telephone line talaga na bigla na lang nakakat yung connection. Even though at first parang in love ako, ganyan. Then suddenly, pero bigla nang di nakapagbayad ng bill, pinutulan ka bigla, ganun.
So, well, kung given the chance, kung medyo nasa anxious attachment ka pala, possible na magkatuluyan kayo. Kung nasa anxious attachment ka, or nasa secure attachment ka, possibly, no?
Kung nasa secure attachment, baka hindi rin. Kasi yung personality ko, di ba, kumbaga, ko, yung mataas ang parang standard, ganyan. So, there will come a point na
Grabe naman.
Parang ano naman ako sa kanya na
I feel
parang
flattered.
ikaw lang tumagal. You should. Yun, na parang kahit nasa secure secure attachment, na parang darating din naman siguro ko dun sa point na parang ako na lang talaga lahat, parang puro na lang ako, 'di ba? Yun naman yung issue nun, pag ganun.
Okay.
Pag naman binibigyan ako, inaano ko naman, tinatanggihan ko naman. Sira ulo nga ako, sabi ko sa'yo. Pag naman hindi ako binigyan, di ba?
Well, yan yung isa
abandonment issue din yun.
Yan yung isa sa mga issues na, actually, hindi ko alam kung dito ka magfo-fall kasi meron pang pang-apat eh. Pero bago tayo pumunta doon sa pang-apat, isa dito is you minimize your feelings or your partners. So, isa rin yan sa mga avoidant dismissive attachment. And then, you feel suffocated by too much closeness. So, yun yung isa sa mga, may mga ganon, diba? I think ito yung mga klase ng mga tao na sa sobrang takot, ito yung mga, ewan ko kung term, kasi hindi man ako Gen Z, no? Hindi naman ako Gen Alpha. Millennial ako, kami ni Nins. So, tinatawag na situationship.
Ano yan?
Okay, hindi ko rin alam. Pero i-google ko nga, wait lang.
Parang narinig ko.
Oo nga situationship. Kita mo? Hindi ko rin siya alam, pero narinig ko situationship means, ayan. So, according kay ChatGPT, okay, means a romantic or emotional relationship that's more than friendship but not quite a committed relationship either. So, ito yon.
That gray area between friendship and commitment.
Yes.
I've been in this,
Oo, diba?
in this, situationship. Situationship pala tawag. Very situational talaga yung nangyari sa akin.
As a millennial na hindi alam yung word na yan, ngayon ko lang na-gets. So, ito yung mga, well, hindi lang naman to situationship eh. May other term yan. Ito yung mga MU.
Yun ang tawag sa atin.
Sa atin.
MU.
MU, yun yung parang, okay, may understanding tayo, pero hindi tayo pwede. Either ayaw ng parents ko, or either hindi pa tama ang panahon, or either
may kanya-kanya
takot
tayong
ako.
Decision.
Oo, either ayoko.
Sabi nga,
Ano sabi?
It is it is an undefined romantic connection, more than friends but not quite partners.
Okay. Ito rin yung isa. Wait. Sabi niya, you hang out often, talk every day, but they say, ayoko muna ng label. So, this is very much...
It feels real, but it's never official.
Yan. Tapos you act like couple, but when you ask, what are we? It suddenly gets awkward. So, ito yon.
Situationship palang tawag.
So, ito yung mga klase ng tao na magfo-fall dito. That they cannot commit because they're too afraid to get close or to be emotionally attached to the person, whatever reason that is. No? Okay, so,
unahin daw kasi yung studies eh.
Well, as they say,
study first.
School first. Okay. So, in relationship, dito nagkakaroon ng mixed signals. Warm one day and then cold the next. Pero usually, unpredictable. And, ang root cause nito is the unpredictability of, kasi yung isa abandonment, di ba? Ito naman, ang root cause is distant yung parent. Emotionally distant yung parents. Or tinuturo doon sa mga bata mag-toughen up.
Oo. Kaya, nung nag-mature, they are always on alert na.
So, walang nagturo dito sa mga tao to na being vulnerable is okay. They see vulnerability in relationship as weakness.
Liability.
And a liability. So, doon papasok yung, so, kumbaga, kung ikaw may parent na ang turo sa, wag kang ganito ganyan, toughen up, gano'n ka ba, ganito ganyan. Or,
parang yan lang,
iniiyakan mo. Gano'n, bata ka, diba? And, yung vulnerability, ano ba yan, hina-hina mo, kunting lang, iiyakan na. So, when you grow up, naababago yung ng isip mo na, I'm emotionally, parang, mali to mali dapat itong ma-feel ko. Kasi if I showed my true feelings, that means I'm weak.
Or it's not helpful.
Oo. So, anong nangyayari doon sa tao? Para silang nalulunod. Alam mo yun? Yung pakiramdam na para kang, help me. Gano'n, di ba? Parang nalulunod sila doon sa sitwasyon. Kahit na gustong-gusto na nilang ibigay yung self nila, there's something that's holding them back. Because they feel that it's not supposed to be that way. So, anong nangyayari, when that person, kuwari, na-inlove sila sa taong yon, kuwari si secured or si, usually ang magpartner, alam mo ba, si avoidant, at saka si anxious. Si anxious, ang hinahanap niya si avoidant.
Actually.
'Di ba?
Oo nga,
Tapos, si dismissive, si avoidant, ang hinahanap niya, si anxious. Naghahanap siya ng something na magkikling sa kanya. Para may maramdaman siya. Para may, kumbaga, ma-validate yung feeling niya na, ganito. So, ang gusto niya, may humahabol sa kanya. Yung isa naman, gusto niya, makakakuha ng validation. The anxious is always running for validation. So, yung isa, detached siya. So, kung mapapansin nyo, kung kayong klase tong relationship na to, alam nyo na. So, usually yun nga, distant parents or yun nga, magta-toughen up, yun yung tinuturo. So, the fourth one is what we call the fearful avoidant. Ito yung mix. Ito yung disorganized attachment. It means that you want love, but you fear getting hurt.
Uy, ako din yun.
Feeling ko nga ikaw yan eh.
Ang dami ko naman, parang sinalo ko naman lahat yan.
Hindi.
Nainabang
Hindi. I think,
dinadaan mo ako sa podcast
may kilala akong ganito na very close to me. Diba? Siyang siya to. Kasi meron siyang, I won't mention who that person is. Kasi itong taong to is that, pag ayaw sa kanya, siya yung lalapit. Siya yung magpupursue. Ipupursue niya ng bonggang-bongga talaga. Tapos, pag yung isang tao naman overly giving of attention, yung talagang kulang na lang isiksik yung sarili, iritang-irita siya. Ayaw niya, tumatakbo siya palayo. Pag nararamdaman niya na parang may something na ma-attach na. So, may istorya yan, no? One example was that may kaibigan siya. Barkada sila eh. Siya lang yung, one of the boys siya. So, ba't tropa, ganyan. Tapos, syempre siya yung girl. Tapos yung boy, syempre, barkada niya, lalaki, magkaka-girlfriend. So, ngayon, itong si girl, ang sabi niya, pag nagka-girlfriend ka, tigilan natin ito pagkakaibigan na to. Totoo yun. And that person is talagang kakaibang kanyang attachment style. Kasi she would run after people who would reject her. But at the same time, people who would come for her and follow her, she would reject. She would not despise, but reject. Or she would run away. Dismiss. That's the right term. So, etong mga behavior traits na yan, doon siya magfa-fall sa fearful avoidant. Meaning, you crave for closeness but panic when you get it. You expect betrayal or abandonment even when things go well. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga tao na kahit ang ganda-ganda naman ang nangyayari, ang laging nasa isip, matatapos naman to eh.
Pessimistic.
Na parang hindi naman to magtatagal. Iiwanan din ako nito. Ganon. Kahit na wala naman nangyayari, kahit naman na normal lang naman yun lahat, no? And you can be hot and cold. Yan. Emotionally intense but inconsistent. So this person that I was talking to you about, so I had that weird relationship with that person. Kasi for years, I've been constantly puzzled. So I think being the anxious that I am, anxious ako anxious attachment ako I would always run after for validation. So I would be clingy, I would be like very, no. And then this person kasi, it really gets to my system. Ang nangyayari, I would always do things to to make her see me.
Nagpapapansin.
Ako. But then, eventually, nung ayaw ko na, nung siya naman yung lapit ng lapit. So, ano ba talaga? Saan ako lulugar? So, yun yung naging So, hindi, etong mga attachment styles na to, hindi lang siya nagfo-fall sa romantic
relationship. Hindi.
Even dun sa family relationship,
sa magkakaibigan,
even friends, this would always come out, this kind of attachment, no? So an example is, I want someone to love me but I don't believe anyone really will. Or I leave before, ito yung matindi. Uunahan ko na sila bago nila ako masaktan.
Ay, may ganyan ako.
Diba?
Parang, meron akong mga
may mga
specs ako ng lahat.
Little of everything. Tapos, in Filipino terms, mahal ko siya, pero natatakot akong masaktan ulit. Diba? So, it could be coming from that childhood cause. Ang root cause talaga niyan is past trauma or chaotic caregiving. Love associated with pain.
Lagi ko naririnig childhood ang pinanggagalingan. Primarily yung caregiver. So hindi talaga yung past relationship. I mean the recent relationship ang
root cause.
'Di ba? Karaniwan kasi ganun eh. You've been in this kind of relationship. Kaya yung sumunod mong relationship, very alert ka or fearful, ganyan. Hindi pala talaga doon.
Hindi.
My
so, yun ang nakakatawa. Kasi, the more that you think about it, kaya nga ito magandang i-share sa mga viewers natin kasi it would give you an idea of how things are. Mas madali mo siyang ma-analyze kung ano yung root cause of why you are stuck in this kind of relationship. Why are you with this person that you are with now? Why do you keep on staying on this person? Kahit na alam mong ilang beses ka lang niloko, ilang beses ka nang sinaktan, ilang beses ka nang, alam mo yun, parang dinidismiss emotionally. Meron din naman din na hindi cheater yung partner, pero emotionally absent. Diba? Or emotionally dismissive. Meron naman na cheater, pero may paparamdam talaga sa'yo na ikaw lang talaga. Diba? Yung sabi nga nila, basta sa iyo ako uuwi. May mga ganun, diba? So, those are the things na
Alam mo, may naisip ako.
Ano yun?
So, yun palang result ng relationship mo is kung hindi siya nag-turn out good or something happened, it's not entirely the fault of your partner. Mas mas malaki yung weight ng ikaw yung cause.
Actually,
'di ba?
Itong podcast na to is not about putting the blame kung sino may kasalanan, no, but the reason why we do this podcast is because we want people to understand the psychology behind it, or the reasons why people do the things that they do. So probably it could be one cause that this, of course, hindi natin pwede i-justify the other person's action because may sarili siyang attachment style na ikaw rin sa sarili mo, ikaw rin meron ka ring attachment style na na fina-follow. So, I think it goes both ways. Hindi lang isa, but both the parties are involved doon sa kung bakit ganun nag-end up yung relationship nila or bakit they are stuck in that kind of relationship. Maybe the other one nga is dismissive or dismissive or avoidant, and then the other is anxious. So, they complement each other. And then there is this one nga, fearful avoidant. Yung parang, pag tumalikod ka, habulin mo ko. Pag humarap ako, habulin kita. Ganon. Parang may ganong pattern. Ito yun naman yung question do sa mga viewers natin. So, I think the reflection questions to that I prepared sa, if someone gets close to you, do you feel safe or do you feel scared? Ikaw?
Ano na?
When someone gets close to you, do you feel scared or do you feel safe?
Sabi ko nga sa'yo yung pagiging, um, yung pagkakaroon ko ng abandonment issue, ano siya, um, hindi siya hindi siya voluntarily. Kumbaga, akala ko okay. Feeling ko ginagawa ko naman na okay siya, pero subconsciously, iba na pala yung nagma-manifest. Ganon.
And usually kasi, nag-ooperate tayo we operate subconsciously actually. Diba? Sabi mo, sometimes
feeling ko ginagawa
ko. Yung term na
feeling ko tama yung pinapakita ko, ginagawa ko.
Yung feeling ko, tama yung pinapakita ko, feeling ko, tama yung ginagawa ko, that is the conscious level. Pero you operate subconsciously, ayun yung nabuo sa'yo when growing up. So, it's better to understand what kind of attachment that you have so that you would be able to manage and to see yourself, where am I at this? Baka may kailangan akong i-work out.
Yun nga yung mahirap eh. Kasi syempre paniniwalaan mo yung conscious decision mo. Pero may iba yung nagma-manifest subconsciously. Iba yung, kaya sasabihin sa'yo ikaw lagi mo sinasabi sa akin iba naman yung nakikita ko. Tapos sa isip ko, iba yung ginagawa ko. Ang hirap nilang pag-anuhin. Pagsalubungin ba?
May sinasabi nga sila how do you know that you are working in the subconscious or the conscious? One pattern is when you are in the subconscious, pag nagda-drive ka, kuwari araw-araw ka nagda-drive kasi nag-work ka sa Cubao, kahit nakapikit ka, alam ng paa mo kung saan ka pupunta. Kahit ako pag nagda-drive ako, kahit iniisip ako yung utak ko pag nagmamaneho, dapat ko iniisip, kuwari nagdadasal ako or iniisip ko yung may event ng ganito, ganyan. Pero yung paa ko, nakakarating ako sa work. Nang hindi ko pinag-iisipan kung paano ko dinrive yung from our house going to work. Na it's just automatic. It's the subconscious. So, meron kang map dyan na kahit na nag-iisip ka habang nagdadrive ka, minsan tulala ka, di ba? Pag nagmamaneho ka, parang niisip mo, lulutuin sa bahay. Maneho ka lang, maneho.
Actually, yun yung time. Sa akin, personally, driving is the time I get to think. Feeling ko, mga 1/8 lang ng brain ko yung nakatutok sa driving. Pero, the rest iba, ang dami nilang tinatrabaho.
Conscious yun. Yung tinatrabaho na yun yung conscious. The 1/8 that you are saying, it's the subconscious. And we miss that a lot. So, because we don't understand how our mind works. So, yun yung sinasabi ko na unless you understand where you are from at where you are operating, you wouldn't be able to get out of that because you don't understand how your mind works. So, kung kayo ay na-stuck sa isang relasyon because of this, isa lang yan sa mga theory. I would say theory because in psychology, there's no
definite.
No, there's a lot of theories.
Siyempre, magkakaiba kasi tayo, no?
Yes, and our brain has different, you cannot put it in one case na ito talaga lang to. Our mind is so powerful that it could change and alter things, alter reality. Even, you could have 15 personalities. Yun yung may split. That's how powerful our mind is.
Totoo pala yun,
So, there is another theory na sinasabi nila. Ito yung kinikwento ko kay Kring na hindi ko lang ma-put into words kung ano yung tawag doon sa theory na yon. And they call it imago theory. This is under Harville Hendricks theory, and they call it the imago theory. So, imago is a word, and it means image theory. So this one came from the 1988 book entitled Getting the Love You Want. And it is a study that was made. So the core idea of it is we unconsciously choose partners who resemble the people who raised us. Not because we're doomed to repeat the past, but because our psyche or our mind is trying to heal the unfinished childhood wounds through love. And I think this really is what's happening. So, aside from that,
Naniniwala ka.
ako, I truly believe that the person that we are with resembles our parents. Why? Because in my case,
Makaturo ka naman sa akin.
hindi kasi, sabi ko nga, ang aking core hurt or core trauma, nagre-revolve sa dalawang tao, sa nanay ko at saka sa ate ko. Yung ate ko, merong ugali si Nina na very much my sister. And may ugali rin to na very much my mom. So, it doesn't,
Na-figure out na lang namin. Neto na lang. Hindi siya not noticeable at first.
Oo. Tanungin kita. Somehow ba, nakikita mo ba sa akin, may resemblance ba ako ng ugali ni mama mo? It could be good and or bad, ha? It could be a mix.
Oo.
Gaya ng
ito talaga. Kaya si mama kasi, maasikaso siya. So, ibibigay niya yung pag-aasikaso niya. Katulad yan sa paningin nila kuya, di ba? Maasikaso si mama. Lahat daw ng love is binigay sa akin. Pero ako, sa paningin ko, hindi ko natanggap yung love or yung accommodation na kailangan ko. Parang kay Jet din, kung ano-ano binibigay niya sa akin, pero yung mismong gusto ko, hindi niya na-attend. Parang ganon. So, doon siya sa meron siyang mga subjects na absent siya. Ganon.
Diba? And that is something that,
diba yan ang inuungot ko sa'yo palagi.
Pag nagagalit si mama mo, nakikita mo ako?
Oo, nakasigaw, nakataas ang boses.
Hindi kasi ako
very loud.
Kasi ko diba yung, may tawag doon hyperglycemia. Charis. Hyperarousal. Hyperarousal kasi ako. And we will talk about that. Hyperarousal kasi ako. Si Nina kasi is hypoarousal. So, ibig sabihin, ako ay sobrang, andali ko mag-flare up, no? So, pag konting ano ba, bakit ganito? Bakit ganyan? Ba't ganito? So, may ganun ako. And siguro nakikita niya sa akin si mama.
Bukod sa pagiging emotional na din, yun yung representation. Physical, visual representation ng pagiging emotional niya. Yung kamay, ganyan.
Si mama rin ganyan.
Si mama, kahit naman si mama ngayon kahit nga may Alzheimer's na yung pag nagalit yun, nakita mo naman ng boses, diba? Lahat na pati ng words masasabi niya sa'yo.
O hindi naman ako ganun.
I mean,
pero
hindi naman ako kinocall ng names, pero in a sense, talagang very expressive.
And you see, that is something that, one way or the other, we get our partners according to the resemblance of the parents, either of which good and bad, good or bad. Yeah.
Na very ironic and ang weird, 'di ba? Parang
yun nga yung ayaw mo.
Oo, kasi nga, 'di ba? Gusto mo ba yung feeling na gano'n na nasasaktan ka? And then,
which is exactly the point. Ito yung sinasabi ko, which is exactly the point. The reason of the imago theory is that the reason why you were with that person, it's because, yun nga sinasabi, our psyche or our mind is trying to heal the unfinished childhood wounds through love. So, ang ibig sabihin,
talagang kailangan mo siyang harapin at tapangan.
Yun yung sinasabi ko kay Kring last time, that the reason why we are with the other person, kumbaga may kailangan kang lagpasan sa sarili mo. May kailangan kang i-overcome sa sarili mo. And that person, whether maging kayo or hindi kayo sa huli, that person would help you to conquer that that side of you, to conquer that unhealed trauma or unhealed self.
So ano yun? Parang make it or break it? Kaya siguro, di ba sabi mo kanina, okay, example hindi to totoo. Example lang to, guys. Yung dalawa mong ex is dismissive. Kaya hindi kayo hindi kayo nagtagal, hindi kayo naging successful. Tapos may bago kang dinidate ngayon. Somehow, ganun din siya. Dismissive pa din siya. And you are still running and hoping na may mabago. Tapos hindi na naman kayo naging successful. Kumbaga, hindi na naman kayo
Oo, hindi kayo nakaakit sa next level.
Oo. Tapos, surprisingly, yung pang-apat mo, ganun din. Pattern talaga siya. May resemblance talaga sila. Maybe because, yun nga, it's either you make it or you break it. Na pwede naman possible pala talaga na sa unang relationship mo pa lang, kung may intindihan mo talaga yung tawag dito, yung dynamics nyo yung dalawa, possible and pwede kayong maging successful dalawa, magkatuluyan.
Unless you learn how to get out of this pattern, paulit-ulit ka talaga.
So, ganun at ganun ang ibibigay sa'yo.
Ganun at ganun ang ibibigay sa'yo.
Na consciously ang hinahanap mo iba. Pero doon at doon pa din ang punta mo.
Ito yung sinasabi nila, hindi dahil sa gusto mong masaktan, pero dahil familiar yung feeling. So kung nakaka-relate kayo dito sa pinag-uusapan namin at very, mind-blowing talaga tong imago theory na to, I think most of the relationship that we have right now is if you are constantly in a loop, I call it the loop, no? Pag super in a loop ka na at feeling mo na lahat ng relasyon mo parang pare-pareho lang ng mukha, iho at iha, mag-isip-isip ka na. Ibig sabihin lang nito is that you need to process and to understand your dynamics, your attachments, and ano yung wounds na hindi mo pa talaga na-heal? Ano ba yung meron dito sa taon to na nagre-represent ng parents mo na maybe you wanted to seek that? So for example, you didn't get as much validation from one parent and you are with this person, and maybe through this person, you would get that same validation that you want from your parents. So you keep running after that person's validation and constantly going into a loop, no? So paano ang gagawin natin? Ano yung magiging solusyon? So ito yung tinatawag nila, so imago theory, yung parents natin, the image of our parents is the blueprint. So ito is kind of like a blueprint of the kind of people we're attracted to later in life. Yan. So yun yung ng imago theory.
Kasi nga, pilit mong iniiwasan pero doon at doon ka pupunta kasi kailangan mo palang harapin. Ikaw, sa atin dalawa.
Ano?
Na-realize na natin yan, di ba? Pero lately lang din. Siguro lang mga 2 to 3 years.
Actually, yung imago word na yan, imago theory na yan, hindi yan talaga nag-cross sa mind ko ng word na yan.
But I mean the situation.
The situation, it's the same. It's something that I talk to. So, the reason why you are stuck in this kind of relationship and we fall for the wrong person, it's because the situation will help you see what you need to work on and to surpass kung ano yung kailangan mo i-surpass sa sarili mo. So, kung may need ka na kailangan mong i-attend, hindi yung partner mo ang magbibigay sa'yo noon. Ikaw ang mag-acknowledge nun. Number 1, ikaw ang dapat unang makakita nung need mo.
Agree.
Kasi ikaw magsasabi kung ano ba talaga yung need ko. I really want a constant validation. And bakit gusto ko yun hinahanap sa partner ko? It's because like this, like that. So there are series of therapy and maybe self-searching, soul-searching, introspection. And it would come out. And that's the time that you talk it out to your partner. Iko-communicate mo.
Yan, mahal, will only work if yung partner mo is also open.
Exactly. So, yun yung tinatawag na dapat consciously working it out together. Kasi, if you don't communicate the needs, there could be overly protected. may ano yan may psychology yan na parang pag sobra at kulang, it should always be balanced. Pag sobra, meron din yang katumbas na negative impact. Pag kulang, may katumbas din yan na negative impact. So, well, not everybody has that balance, no? Sometimes over, sometimes kulang, diba? We're not just looking for a partner, we're looking for healing. Okay? Our subconscious is trying to find someone who feels like our first love, our parents or caregivers, so that this time maybe we can get it right. So kumbaga, yung partner natin, we're looking for example, ikaw, I'm trying to heal my mother or sister wound through you.
With the new character.
New character.
Pero same story.
Yes. Ito ang problem. So, the problem is, kung hindi tayo aware, we just end up repeating the same pain again and again. That's why minsan kahit alam mong toxic na, we can't leave kasi our brain confuses familiar pain with real love. Sometimes we stay in a relationship na, kasi familiar siya na-equate mo yung chaos as passion.
Kumbaga,
equals love.
Oo, 'di ba? Kumbaga, simpleng salita. Kahit na may bago ka ng bahay, doon ka pa rin uuwi sa luma mong bahay kasi doon ka komportable, doon ka nakakatulog. Kaya nga, 'di ba, may salita na namamahay. So, ganun din. Sa bagong relationship or bagong setting, hindi ka komportable.
Yun ang mamahay ka. Yun yung
parang ganun.
mamahay. Yan yung mga eventual reasons kung bakit we're commonly stuck in a relationship patterns that we don't like. So, kung ikaw ay tipong nasa ganitong sitwasyon, medyo mag-isip-isip ka na, 'di ba? Yun.
Tama naman yun. Mag-isip ka. Kailangan talaga mag-start sa sarili Kasi dapat kilala mo muna yung sarili mo bago mo i-communicate yun sa partner mo. And hopefully yung partner mo is open din.
Ano ba yung kailangan natin gawin? Ano ba yung mga practical application that we can do? So, according dito sa Imago Dialogue, is a communication technique which Hendricks developed. So, Imago Dialogue will help you parang i-cater mo. So, once you acknowledge your need, you have to communicate it to your partner. So, that's the way for you to heal that. And kung consciously kayo pareho hindi pwedeng isa lang. Dapat dalawa kayo. That you both understand where you are, what's happening, why am I like this, why am I like that. So, one partner speaks about their feelings and needs. Number 2, the other mirrors back what they heard. So ang naririnig ko kasi means kulang ka sa attention, tama, ganon, or naghahanap ka ng attention, tama. Then you validate it. Oo, kasi nga syempre nung bata ka, ito yung ganito ganyan. And then you empathize. Then you feel mahirap na siguro yan talaga kasi syempre nung bata ka, ganito ka. So kumbaga parang you talk to that person as if na acknowledge, na validate yung experience niya.
And it talaga helps a lot kasi you see that person na wounded and asking for help or someone who needs help, unlike ng personal kang inaaway ba. At first ganun kami, ganun ako kay Jet. Kahit naman siya, at first personal tagos yung namin, yung issue namin sa isa't isa. But yun nga, in the long run, we learned na rooted siya dun sa mga childhood trauma namin and wounds. So ngayon, mas naging charitable kami sa isa't isa.
Mas naging open.
Open.
Mayroon pa isa pa pala. Isa rin pala na pwedeng reason kung ba't nag-i-stay ka sa taong mali or taong hindi para sa'yo dapat. Red flag na talaga sa'yo. It's because low self-esteem din. Kasi pag sobrang baba ng self-esteem ng isang tao, you will parang pipiliin mo na lang yung kaysa wala. Yun yung isip na, kaysa naman wala. Ito na lang available. Kaysa naman wala ako. yung thinking na parang for less. Anong tawag doon? Parang may term doon Parang
you'll settle
you'll settle for less.
Kaysa walang.
Kaysa mawalan ka, ay
okay na to kaysa sa wala.
Kaysa sa wala. Okay lang, magbubog ako. Importante, may kasama ako sa buhay. That is, isa rin yan sa reason why you stay. It's because of that low self-esteem and emotional unavailability.
Ang hirap paano mo, kailangan mo talagang makita yung boundary. If you are consciously deciding that this person na magwo-work yung relationship nyo together or ikaw lang yung nagwo-work para sa relationship nyo dalawa.
Correct. So, I think we will draw. Now, we'll come to anong gagawin natin? Once, paano? Okay, alam na natin to. Ano yung anxious, mo natin, yung attachment style. Okay, sige, alam ko na yung imago theory. Okay, alam ko na baka dopamine high lang to. Or baka nga low self-esteem lang ito. So, what do we do? What is needed to be done? Kailangan ma-acknowledge muna nung dalawang mag-partner kung ano yung dapat i-work out. Otherwise, hindi siya magiging, kumbaga, it wouldn't be, hindi siya magiging ka-effective. Ikaw sa tingin mo, ano yung...
hindi nga kumbaga, di ba? Yun nga yung mention ko sa'yo kanina. Hindi siya magiging successful. Dahil, unang-una, hindi nyo both na-realize kung ano yung problem nyo individually. Pangalawa, paano kung ikaw lang yung nag-work sa relationship nyo dalawa? Di ba? Yun. Pangatlo is, kung both kayong decided na gusto nyong mag-transcend in spite ng mga kanya-kanya nyong bit-bit.
Yun.
Na magkasama pa rin kayo.
Exactly. So, ito yung mga nakita ko, no? Like, I was thinking about, ano yung mga takeaways? Ano yung mga parang, how do you break the cycle? If you see may red flags na sa simula, of course, dapat alam mo na yun. Diba? And you value emotional availability over excitement. Kasi sometimes, sa sobrang excitement, nawawala na yung sense, no? Minsan yung sa sobrang excitement natin sa isang relasyon, naiiwan yung utak natin sa lupa. Yun na ano tayo, natatabunan ba? 'Di ba? So we have to rewire. You have to know the boundaries. Exciting to, but
is it appropriate?
Is it appropriate, or is this person really worth it? May pinapakita na siyang mga little signs of this. Nakikita mo na nga na sa simula, ganun go ka pa rin. Diba? So, number 3 is to heal the root. So, yun nga, if you are into therapy, self-introspection, self-reflection, it will help retain your brain to recognize calm as love, not boredom. Ito yung isa sa mga problema. Kasi karamihan sa mga nasa relasyon, pag nasa phase na ng peace, I would say peace, yung masyado ng tahimik, yung parang complacent na, yung tipong hindi na ganun ka-toxic. Kumbaga parang ano na siya,
stagnant?
Hindi naman stagnant.
Plateau
siguro, I would say. They equate it as boredom. Sometimes yung iba, at peace na nga. Kumbaga, wala namang pangit. Minsan nga, ganda-ganda ng relasyon na wala namang issue talaga. As in smooth sailing. So one day, maisip mo, parang ang boring. So you would chase something because out
yun
of
siguro
boredom.
yung nangyayari minsan dun sa mga 15 years ng mag-asawa, 20 years ng kasal, 30. Tapos biglang magugulat ka.
All of a sudden, kasi parang wala namang problema, tapos all of a sudden, meron ng bago.
Tsaka sa tinagal-tagal nila, parang kilalang-kilala na at napagdanan nila lahat. Tapos, biglang ganun,
Exactly. Kaya siguro yung iba, may mga ibang relasyon na akala mo strong na yung foundation, tapos magugulat ka isang araw, yanig. Kasi parang, boring, may nakilala, na-excite, gano'n, diba? So, yun ang sabi nila, yun ang dapat, we should treat calm as love, not boredom. Number 4 is choose with clarity, not craving. Healthy love feels stable, not addictive. So if that relationship is addicting na, that's already a bad sign.
Questionable.
That's already questionable. It should feel stable. When you say stable, that person, with or without that person, you can stay grounded and you feel secured and you feel that you can be yourself. If you feel like, kumbaga, ang tawag nila, you're my rock. Kasi ang rock, matibay diba? Pag yun na yun, it's healthy. Pero once it becomes like you're running after that person and you're parang tuliro ka, that's not healthy love. It's addictive. So I guess yun na yung yun yung kailangan nating i-tackle, no? We're actually
napakalaking niyan, tulong niyan yung realizations na we tend to subconsciously choose our partner based on our past wounds and hurts. Childhood
wounds talaga. And I really advocate that. Yan yung inner child. Yung talagang malaking part of our personhood and how we live our lives at the present.
Lahat talaga connected doon,
Yes, because of our inner child, inner wounds. Kaya really advocate that one. That to really to understand yourself. Ito pala, to understand yourself at the moment is to understand your childhood wounds or inner child. Kasi hindi ka makakaalis sa sitwasyong ito na kinalalagyan mo ngayon pag hindi mo naintindihan kung sino ka nung bata ka at kung ano ka nung bata ka. Kasi pag bata ka, wala ka namang alam Hindi mo naman kilala sarili mo. Bata, kilala mo ba? Hindi mo naman.
Tsaka you don't have yung
mental
values,
capacity.
Mental capacity.
Totoo.
Kumbaga yung mga tools that will help you and will help you survive. Wala.
So, anong takeaway natin dito, no? We fall for the wrong person. Not because we're broken, but because we're trying to heal an old wound with a familiar touch. The reason why we are stuck with these people, it's because we are trying. Hindi dahil sa may mali ako or may mali sa sarili mo or may kulang sa sarili mo or meron kang you're not enough. No.
Hindi ka ba kamahal-mahal?
Hindi ka kamahal-mahal. No. You are stuck in the situation because your mind is trying to survive. It wants to get out because it tries to heal you or it tries to heal that old wound with something that's familiar to you. The right person won't feel like adrenaline. Okay? The right person will not feel like adrenaline. They'll feel like peace. The right person should make you feel at peace. Not excitement, not adrenaline. Pag adrenaline ang pinag-uusapan, yung mga butterflies in the stomach. If that gives you something like that, medyo questionable yan. Real love.
In love ka
Oo. Hindi lahat ng may butterflies in the stomach is love.
Yun nga yung nakakatakot because, diba,
kasi
saan ka ba nagde-decide subconsciously o conscious?
Yun nga. So, hindi lahat ng makaka-excite. Sa lahat naman ng relasyon pagsisimula, masaya, diba? Pero pag dumating ka sa point na, kumbaga parang ang totoong relasyon, ang totoong pagmamahal, it should make you feel at peace. Yun dapat kumbaga yun yung dapat yun yung dapat ini-aim, yun yung goal ng bawat relasyon. It should make you feel secured and at peace. 'Di ba? Bakit ka
Again, anong meaning ng peace?
Peace is not the absence of conflict. It is staying in the present, being at peace even if there's chaos around you.
True.
Yun. So, that's true peace.
Kasi dapat yan muna aralin yun. Ba talaga ang meaning ng peace? Kasi peace equates, walang gulo.
Oo. Diba?
Diyan tayo madalas nadadali.
Real peace is being able to stand and be quiet and be still and be calm in spite of the chaos around you. So, once you are in that situation, yun dapat yung aim nyo sa relationship. Hindi yung adrenaline, hindi yung excitement, diba? Mga final words ko na lang to ha. Maybe love isn't about finding the one. It's becoming the one who no longer repeats the past but writes a new story. A story where love feels like peace. So yun lang. So I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Very short but very informative. So if you are in this kind of situation, please comment it down below. And I hope you enjoyed
Comment din sila.
Oo,
Yung mga
stories ninyo.
na-realize
Na-realize
din yung
ninyo. Kung ano yung mga napulot ninyo, kung may napulot man kayo. Ayan. And since this is our 7th podcast, I hope na tama yun nasa isip ko, 7th or 6th podcast. Please follow us. No, we're just starting. We want to grow this community, and we also want to help people in understanding relationships and traumas and whatever under the sun. So lahat yan we will tackle. I hope in the future we will have guests. Hindi lang 2 mic. Hopefully in the future magiging 3 yan. And thank you so much for watching. Please follow, like, and subscribe here in our channel. And thank you for watching Within the Still Room. This is Jet signing off. Good night. Goodbye.